Recorded from my website, but you can also watch it on social media, Instagram, and you can watch it on YouTube. If you would like to join this conversation, please head over to our website, and that's where I will be able to see your questions, and we can do a live question and answer session at the end. Today's topic is traveling. I am heading out to Iceland in 2 weeks, and I'm gathering together the things. Today was my day to gather up the stuff that I'm taking with me on my trip. And I've done, a fair amount of traveling, and I've made some good mistakes along the way, trial and error, and I've gotten to where I know pretty well what I want to take with me. And it's usually not what's on my counter. It's not the stuff that I'm using every day. So I want to show you guys what I'm doing and why I take each piece. Now, along the way, I'll be applying some of this skincare to my face. I'm also going to finish with a really simple on-the-go makeup. I'm going to be doing a makeup using SPF, and it's quite beautiful, simple, and I'm going to be outdoors a lot, doing a lot of hiking, so I just want to keep it really simple and beautiful and just enjoy my trip. So I am going to, Celine, I know you're watching, and as I'm talking, I'm realizing I forgot some things in here. If you can grab Pink Sky blush balm for me, and the Rose. I think I might already have Rose over here, but the Rose lip gloss is probably in my purse because I use it every day. So if you want to grab those for me, that'll be great. We're going to dive into that towards the end, so we have plenty of time to get that over here. So thinking about traveling, the first thing I think about, of course, is what you would think of with any skincare routine, and that is, what am I going to wash my face with? And so when it comes to that, I've narrowed it down to 2 cleansers that I bring. And most of what you see today is going to be in the Rhonda Allison packaging. Rhonda makes these wonderful travel sizes that aren't too small and not too big. They're just right, and that's what I always take with me when I'm traveling. So I have 2 cleansers in here, and I bring a gentle peptide cleanse, which is more of a milky cleanser, and I love this. Oh, this one's brand new, just off the shelf to go with me on my trip. And I love this because it'll remove any little bit of makeup I might have on, and it's very gentle. If I get a little too much sun or windburn, it feels really nice on the skin. And this can be mixed with the other cleanser that I'm bringing along. So I'm bringing the Soothing Gel Cleanse. Oh, Celine, she's to my rescue. Soothing Gel Cleanse. This is a zeolite cleanser, so there's no acids in either of these products, because that's one thing that I do not take with me on a traveling trip. No acids, no retinols. So this is a wonderful gel cleanse. That zeolite really attracts the dirt and pollution and everything and helps pull that out of the skin. I love this cleanser. I keep it actually at home too, and this is what I wash my grandson in, and I even wash his hair, and I've used it on my hair. So that's the beauty of the Soothing Gel Cleanse. If you're in a pinch, you can use this to wash your hair. It does not strip it. It leaves it really soft and shiny, and my husband loves a gel cleanse. So I've got 2 cleansers to take with us. I've got my gentle peptide cleanse and my soothing gel that can be mixed together or used separately. Quite lovely. Wipe this off my hand now. There we go. And perfect size. I love those. Now, when I'm traveling, I do not take toner. I don't take anything watery with me, except for if I'm going on a trip. If you've probably seen me packing for Hawaii, somewhere where I'm going to be out in the sun quite a bit, then I'm going to take some Isocell Recovery Solution, which is a watery product. But otherwise, I don't take those watery products. They just leak. They make a mess. It just doesn't work out. So no toners going in my bag with me. Now, occasionally I'll put in my carry-on a spritz. And I didn't pull that out here, but I love the Rhonda Allison's cucumber hydration spritz. It comes in a nice little travel size. We have a number of smaller spritzes, and those will usually go into my travel bag and go with me. Now, Celine, I believe to you guys that we have that on special right now. If you place a $100 order at Art of Skincare, you get a travel size spritz, and I believe it's the Color Science one, which smells really good. So that will be really great. Maybe Celine will bring one of those in for us in a little bit too. I'm always doing this, adding things as we go. You guys know me. When I get in conversation with you guys, I'm sharing what I do. All these ideas get going in my head. So otherwise though, no liquids, no toners. So the next step in my skincare routine is going to be an antioxidant serum. And I like to double up on my antioxidants because I am my age, it's 63. And I tend to get some redness going on and I get some hyperpigmentation. So I want to help protected. So the two things that I grab and I always travel with are from Rhonda Allison's C Stem Cell. This is a vitamin C serum and it's boosted with all kinds of plant stem cells. So that means plant stem cells are our antioxidant stem cells. So really lovely for the skin. This is also gently brightening and it's going to help protect my skin from that UV damage that happens. And it's in a really nice travel container and it's a nice dewy finish because I get dry when I travel. Just going on an airplane dehydrates the skin. And that's one of the mistakes that I've made in my traveling, and we'll talk about that a little bit more in a moment, but I have traveled and not brought enough moisturizer and had to go out searching for moisturizers and just had miserable experiences trying to buy skincare on the fly. I've spent hundreds of dollars on a cream that cost more than any cream that I sell here at Art Skincare just because it was the only thing I could get when I was in Quebec, and it still was not enough moisture. It didn't do what my good things here do, and I was so disappointed and unhappy. So C Stem Cell, a coating of that. I'm going to use that mainly in the mornings. This one is my DNA Reversal. DNA Reversal I'm going to usually use twice a day. So this will be a nourishing serum, comes in a little bit bigger container, and so it's going to last me longer, and my husband will be using both of these as well. And DNA Reversal has that thermophilus in it, and it's also loaded with ferments. Very soothing to the skin. Also loaded with antioxidants, and what I love about this is that it calms the temperature, helps to regulate the temperature of my skin so I don't have as much redness in the skin and inflammation in the skin. And I just love the way it smooths the texture of my skin. Any of you guys who've used this know this just feels amazing on the skin. It has a light ginger scent and it's quite yummy. So DNA Reversal, now I'm ready to put on some moisturizer, and I've fed my skin with two products that are also great humectants. So these are also pulling a lot of water hydration into my skin, which is what you need when you're traveling. For moisturizer, what I always bring, it comes to this one, Rhonda Allison's Amino Peptide Moisturizer. Now what's happened, and when I was talking about this last time I took it traveling, I went off to Quebec. It was in December. It was a lot of wind. It was cold. It was so dry. And I did not pack an oil. And normally I tell people always pack a small oil because you want to be able to boost your moisturizer when you need it. I did not, and I suffered. So I am definitely packing an oil with me. I'm going to Iceland. It's going to be cold. It's going to be windy. I'm going to suffer with a lot of drying elements. So I've got Amino Peptide Moisturizer, and I grabbed a Luminous Balancing Serum from Rhonda Allison. This is a grapeseed serum. I love this serum. It actually has wild yam in it, so it's really great for balancing out hormones in the skin. It helps with hormones that are causing breakouts. It also works with those menopause, those of us who've been through menopause, and we're missing that estrogen in our skin, and we start losing that elasticity. This product really helps to firm the skin as well. It helps to trigger those estrogen receptors in the skin. So what I do generally, sometimes I'll just use the oil alone at night, and that can be fine. A lot of times if I'm in a really dry climate, I'm going to use both, especially during the day. I'm going to put on my moisturizer, and then I'm just going to add 1 drop of my oil to it. And these are brand new, so it's just taking a few pumps, there we go, to get them going. Blend those together. Feels good. Now I have a nice moisturized base. I've got everything I need in these products that I've chosen because I've got my vitamin C, my antioxidants, my anti-inflammatory ingredients. Then I've added in amino peptides, so I'm getting those great peptides that the skin needs, and then also adding a little bit of oil just to really protect that barrier of the skin. And the oil was called Luminous Balancing Serum. It says on here wild yam and grapeseed. Love that stuff. I have many teenagers that use this as their moisturizer because they just get these hormonal breakouts, and they'll just put on a little dot of this, and that gives them that little bit of moisture that they need. You can mix it with a little bit of toner and make a deconstructed moisturizer. It's good stuff, really good stuff. Okay, so moving on from there, we've got to think about, my eyes. I didn't have any trouble picking an eye cream, so I will show you that. I love this one from Glymed, the CBD. You can tell this is the one I use every day, but I chose it for traveling too because it's in this nice small container. Super easy to travel with, and when you pump it, it never pumps too much. It always gives you just the really nice amount, and this can be used all around the eye area without causing any irritation. I've been getting really dry up in this area here, so I can come in there and get that. Get out here around the eyes, smile lines, and it looks great. Now when it comes to sun protection for the eyes, that's where I have a real debate. You guys can help me vote. You guys can vote for me and help me decide which one I should take with me on my trip. So other things that I put on today. So you can tell I already have my mascara on the top. So my favorite is Tartelette. This is a tubing mascara. This is their regular one. They just came out with an XL for extra length, and so I just ordered myself one of those to try because this one's starting to get used up. This is my favorite mascara because it stays on my eyes and it doesn't require any harsh things to remove it. It removes with water because it's just making little tubes on my lashes. And one of the things that causes the most dehydration and lines around the eyes are our mascara and our eyeshadows. And if you go for quite a while without using those and you start using them, you really see what it's doing and how it's aging that eye area. So I love my Tartelette. And then on my brows, I have my Jones Road, and it's just, it's probably like taupe or blonde. Yeah, blonde on my eyebrows. Because as we age, everything fades out. And if we have no brows, we just start looking washed out. And so I love using this pencil. It's super easy. It's water resistant. And I tell you, I am just not even careful with it. And it still just looks great. I like things to put on my face, especially when it comes to makeup, to be foolproof and easy. I like to apply with my fingers. I'm just that really kind of natural look and use kind of person. That makes me happiest. Okay, so next thing on our lineup, and I had to take a vote amongst the staff because normally I travel with Tizo Ultra Zinc. And I like it because it can be used on the face, the whole body. We use it all over. But the one thing that we just have gotten used to it, so we don't complain about it. But one thing about it, being that zinc, it also has antioxidants and it's got vitamins C and E, but it's hard to rub in. So when you're putting it on, especially when you're doing a full body kind of coverage, you get more white. It does rub in, but it takes a bit more rubbing to get it in. I love that though. It's a 40. I also like that it's very moisturizing. So this was the debate for me, and you guys can maybe even help me. You might change my mind on what I decided after I took the vote from everybody. But that is the Tizo Ultra Zinc SPF 40 with vitamin C and E. Now the other choice was an SPF 50, and it's the no-show. And the reason why the no-show won by the staff is because when you put no-show on, it still will take a minute or two to rub in, but it rubs in faster. It does not get on your clothes. So even if I get this on my clothes, it's not going to leave like white marks on my shorts or my shirt or anything when I reapply. And this is my husband's new favorite, so I probably have to bring that one. But that was my debate between the two. So if you're debating for yourself, if you're wanting more moisture, maybe go with Tizo. If you're liking a less feel on the skin and no white stuff getting on your clothing, go for No Show. There it is. And that was my big debate. I put a vote up between the staff and everybody voted for this one hands down. So that's probably what's going in the bag with me. I may as well stick it in here now. That's going with us. So next step, and I often will layer up on my sunscreen. So especially when I am traveling. So I'm going to go ahead and apply, and I'm going to put on my No Show. So what I'm taking with me. I'm going to be layering. So I'm going to use 2 lines. Normally you would use 3 fingers. I'm going to use 2 fingers because I'm layering. And when I do that, I give myself permission to use 2 fingers of each thing. Now I can do a little more polished look with my Color Science makeup, but I'm not going to do that when I'm traveling. If I'm just heading out hiking every day and we're having all these great adventures, I'm not going to spend a lot of time doing much of a makeup routine. I want to keep it really simple. So I've got my No Show, then I grab my Flex. This is the Flex Medium. So Flex Medium is more than a tinted sunscreen. I generally will travel with a tinted sunscreen in the past, but it doesn't really give you coverage as far as redness or dark spots on the face. What I love about this one, and I even get my husband to use it because look at this. When you put it on, it looks like it's white. So he doesn't think he's putting on makeup, which is great. So he will even use this while we're traveling, but you can see once you start rubbing it on, completely turns to skin tone. This is medium. I'm right in between medium and light. Light is too light right now, but I figure in Iceland, even in Iceland, I'm going to be outdoors every day, and medium is going to be a nice, healthy shade for me. See how that really nicely blends the dark spots on my face. It just gives me a bit more coverage. It covers the redness around my nose, nasolabial folds, and it balances out the sun. I have that picoderma. So I have a white, I have loss of pigment right here. So when I use Flex, it does a really nice job of evening that out. I didn't put any on my chest because I got my necklace on and I don't want to bump the mic. It's obnoxious, but let's put some on there as well. So you guys can see how nicely, it's not going to completely cover. It's not heavy coverage, but it just blends it beautifully so that it's just, the uneven pigment is just not all that noticeable. Does a really great job on that. Now the other thing, so we've got, I'll just keep showing you my layers because I have to layer sunscreen so that sun doesn't get there and do that damage. The next thing that I grab is from Color Science. This is their blush balm or color balm. I love these, and you only need one thing for color when you're traveling. This one happens to be Pink Sky, which is really a pretty pink. It's going with the pink I have on today, but it also has an SPF to it. So this is also an SPF 50. This is where I get the most hyperpigmentation. So how great to layer that on there. I could also put it on my lips. Light blending. A little on the nose, a little on the eyelids. Nice pinky glow. I love that. I am going to now grab a powder, and I used to be anti-powder. You guys, I haven't touched powder to my skin since I was 40 because I didn't like the way it made my skin look. I didn't like the texture it gave my skin, but I am totally sold on this brush on shield. It's an SPF 50. Comes in different colors, so I can use the medium or the light. I choose to use glow because I love to glow. So I use the glow and I'll apply it to my eyelids to give me a little protection there. And then I'll just take it over the whole face. This is what I'm going to be reapplying throughout the day. Every couple hours, I'm going to be reapplying with this sunscreen. It never builds up to be heavy, never looks powdery. It's even water resistant. I love the test. We'll have to come on and show you guys the test that we've done with this and how beautifully this holds up underwater. So the neck and chest, that beautiful glowy finish. Now, I kind of saved this till now because I have a debate. So you guys have to help me vote on this. So I'll do one on each eye and then you guys can choose. I have 2 eye creams. And if I really wanted to just do an eye cream, I could go without bringing this one and I could just bring one of these 2. Tizo is an SPF 20. Total Eye is an SPF 35. And Total Eye is not only an SPF and an eye cream, but it also has a color corrector in it. So it's going to give me a more polished, finished look. It's going to hide some dark circles. And my debate is that I don't think that when I'm just getting up and going hiking that I will have the patience to put this one on, although it's so easy. So I don't know why I say I wouldn't have the patience, but let's see. Here we go. You just get a little bit like that. Apply little dots. And I love this applicator. It actually feels cold, so it's going to help drain away the blood under there that makes the dark circles, drain away puffiness. And then you just take your finger, do some light stippling, or if you have a favorite brush or a little sponge that you like to use, that works really beautifully. It can go up onto the upper eye bone, orbital bone area to give you protection there. And so that's what that looks like. Really pretty. Okay, and then here's the simple one, because I think this isn't as simple because I've got to have a mirror. If you don't have a mirror and you're camping, I wouldn't bring this. I would bring Tizo. But I am staying in a very nice house cabinish up in the West Fjords. It's going to be really amazing. And I am going to a wedding, so I probably will bring this. But if I was going to be camping and hiking, this is what I would grab, because you don't need a mirror to apply this. It's giving you SPF protection as well as providing that moisturizing protection for lines, wrinkles. You guys can vote. I will have to admit to you guys that I did cheat. Before I started my video this morning, I had terrible dark circles under my eyes. I've been outdoors every day. It's been over 100 and I can't keep enough moisture in my body. So I woke up this morning with really dark circles under my eyes. And before I went live, I grabbed this Total Eye Concentrate from Color Science. This is like a cream or a product for your eyes on superpower. This is like 3 times the strength for under eye circles and puffiness. It has a little roller ball. You roll it on, and I had these dark circles are here going right to there. This made a huge difference. So even though my Tizo didn't provide any color protection, any coverage or camouflage to that dark circle, applying my eye concentrate first really did help. But overall, still, this one is the one. My 3-in-1 Total Eye is just really pretty. So I'm actually going to have to put that on, a little bit of that on the other eye too. Here we go. And then let's just stipple it in. you need any other coverage in any other little areas, you can always use a little bit of this. Love, love, love. Okay, powder on, color on the face, blush color. Total finish would be to grab that spritz if I had it here. We have a little spritz from Color Science. I could spritz with that if I wanted to spritz. I probably have other spritzes around here too I could use. Let's look on the shelves. See what other spritzes are on my shelves. Oh, no. Maybe there aren't any spritzes. Oh, here it is. I found one. Hydrating mist. This is just, it's just, I don't feel finished unless I've done this. I usually will use my Sculptra mist, or I love the Color Science hydrating mist. Whatever mist I have at home, a Botania mist, I am going to finish off my total look with spritzing this all over my hair, my face, my body. It just, whew, that's my ritual. And then I'm done and ready to go. So what I want to do now is I want to open up for questions. I see a bunch of questions have been popping up on here. So let's go back and see what kind of questions we can answer. And then I can also answer questions on what should you take if you have a specific issue or something that you're concerned about when you travel. Joseph says, how would you blend no show and flex? I assume a tiny amount of flex in maybe the red area. So I still use flex. I'm still doing, if I'm using two things, if I'm using no show and flex, I'm going to do the 2 full fingers of both as I'm applying. I'm going to put on my no show first, and then I'm going to put my flex over the top. And what you'll find, Joseph, is that the flex is so natural. Even though it's a foundation, it's so natural that you can put it all over. And anytime you're applying a mineral, you don't want to be rubbing too much around like that, but you can even do that. I mean, Color Science, they're the mineral magicians, we call them. So generally when I'm putting on my sunscreen, I'm stippling all over, and then I'm gently rubbing it downward on the skin. Let's do that with no show on the other hand. So I'm stippling it around, and then I'm just gently blending it in one direction, not back and forth. If I rough it up, that's what makes that zinc start reflecting that light back. So I don't want to do that. I just want to go in nice downward strokes and work it into the skin. So for me, downward, downward, downward. Okay, Joseph says, should be receiving mine this afternoon. Oh, great, great. I love it. Make me a video, Joseph, of putting it on. Make me a little reel. I would love that. Megan says, have you had any acne clients have an issue with the flex at all? Nervous because it has Z-Maize cornstarch. So we don't have a problem with Z-Maize cornstarch. That's not on our acne problem list. And honestly, all over the country, many face reality acne estheticians, they're all using flex. And that's how we found out about it, being at a face reality workshop. They started telling us, oh my gosh, this flex works great for our acne clients, not causing any breakouts. They use it as their foundation, no breakouts, and they're doing wonderfully with it. So I think, Megan, you are safe to give that a try. Melissa says, I would take Tizo for reapplication and my husband will use it, haha. So I'm not sure if you were saying that, because your husband will use it, yes, and for reapplication. So she's saying Tizo, probably the eye product. Yeah, I'm not going to be reapplying 3-in-1 throughout the day, but I am going to that wedding. So I kind of want it for the wedding, but I bet if I take this, if I go, I'll probably, if I'm going to probably take both, and I'll use this as I would my makeup when I'm going to the wedding, but I bet the whole rest of the trip, this is all I'm going to be using, is that Tizo, because I know when I'm out traveling and doing tours, going to museums even, these are all more natural. In Iceland, they're more natural museums. They're amazing. And seeing a lot of waterfalls and puffins and beautiful views, I'm just going to be putting that on. I love that reminder to reapply even in the eye area. One of the things I do love about the powder is that this powder, when I'm using it for the eye area, it has this little up and down. So I just push it up part way, and this around the eye area does not cause any dryness or ickiness around the eyes, but it's still giving you that water resistant, almost waterproof, the way the powders work, protection on the face. So I will be bringing that and reapplying with that all over the eyes as well. Okay, Melissa, thank you. Joseph says, wonder if an SPF 20 would do much. I feel like you have to be constantly reapplying given the SPF coverage. True, you know, a 20 is not huge, but the nice thing about the eye area is if you're wearing sunglasses, that also provides some protection. Layering on the powder, like I showed you, that's a 50. So we've got 20 and a 50 going on around there, so that can be helpful as well. Okay, and Kelly gave a vote for I love the color science eye. Yes, yes. Linda, do you like the Color Science SPF powder better than the Is Clinical powder? Is there any difference in the way they look? I am torn between which two to buy. Celine, are you out there? We're calling Celine. Celine! Celine! I am that powder snob. So I have taken Is Clinical and traveled with it and used it when I had to reapply, but it shows up more on my skin. Celine, come talk to us about that, because you've used Is Clinical powder more than I have. Come sit on my knee right here?
No, I'll sit right here.
Okay.
So I am a Is Clinical powder user for years now. And honestly, I really don't see a significant difference when I use either one. Okay. Obviously, the Is Clinical powders are tinted, so they're going to be much more similar to the tinted Color Science powders. So Is Clinical, they don't have a glow powder, they don't have a bronze powder, and they don't have a matte powder. Okay. So they are much more equivalent to the tinted line of the Color Science brush-ons, where you have to select your color, light, medium, dark. But in comparison to those, when I wear those, I really don't see a significant difference in how it wears throughout the day, how it applies. They're very, very similar. I will say the Is Clinical powder does have extremozymes in it. So I like that little benefit. Sometimes I reach for that one just because I'm like, oh, it has my extremozymes in it, which is protecting your skin from DNA damage.
DNA. So that's your DNA repairing enzymes. So that's going to be in your Is Clinical. So that's going to make that one a bit better. The Is Clinical comes with an extra cartridge. So it comes with probably 2 times the amount of powder to it. I haven't gone and done the little comparison to see. One of the benefits of the Color Science one is that you can unscrew the bottom and you can paint it on with a brush if you want to.
Yes, you can do that with the Is Clinical one too.
Okay, okay. The Is Clinical has a locking mechanism, so if the cap falls off of it, it's not going to leak out all over in your bags, in your travel bags. So that would be a plus for Is Clinical.
I have the Color Science one in my purse, and it has not leaked.
And yeah, I have been carrying this one around, and it hasn't leaked either, but the lid hasn't fallen off.
I wish that there was an obvious difference between them, because then I could tell you, okay, this one is like this one is like this, but they really wear very similarly. They're not over-the-top matte. Neither of them are drying, because they both have hyaluronic acid in them.
Okay, and
they both have antioxidants, so they are really similar.
They both have antioxidants. This one is also blocking UV... HV, the UV that's the blue.
Light. So they do both block blue light as well.
Both block blue.
Color Science, though, has publicized more of their data on the blue blocking. But they both contain those tin oxides.
Same green.
So the iron oxide. So they both have those mechanisms of blocking blue light, so similar, but the Is Clinical doesn't have the glowy finish that this one has.
That's true. Version. I do like my glow finish. This is what's got me to use it, because I'm just a powder snob. So I don't think we really made a choice for you, but we gave you some more things to think about.
Oh, I have one little difference that I did notice. So I use the powders over the top of Classic, I often wear the Color Science Classic that has a very moisturizing finish.
Yes.
And so I use the powder to kind of set down that moisturizing finish. And I find that when I'm putting the powder over the top of a product that has a very moisturizing finish, like over a very rich moisturizer or a rich sunscreen, sometimes the IS Clinical powder will kind of ball up a little bit into a little bit of chunks that I just have to sweep away. And it's not the end of the world. It's just like I just know, okay, it's going to have a couple of little clumps where the moisture from the product underneath kind of clumped it together, and I just sweep it away.
And you will never get that.
I've never had that happen with the Color Science one. The Color Science one never leaves little clumps of pigment behind on my skin. So that is a nice perk.
That's another thing that I would think about is when I'm packing my sunscreen. If you're really dry skinned, I might, instead of taking the Flex in my usual color, I might do Flex Classic because it's going to give me more moisture. And then what I would do is use the powder in my medium shade to give me more of that foundation finish that I want to have.
Well, it doesn't really give a foundation finish. If anything, it's like a light tint finish.
Okay.
Just a light tint of color. But you can't, the coverage that you get from your Flex in medium
is going to be
much more than the coverage of the powder in medium.
Okay. Good to know.
That was helpful.
Super helpful. I love it. Thank you. Melissa says, but I have not yet tried the Color Science Eye. I think I need to. Yes, you do. I was so against it because I think I mentioned to you guys that I had purchased it when it first came out a few years ago, and I got the Fair, and it was too light. And I put it on, and also when you put it on, you saw how it made that all that makeup-y look under here. That scared me because I'm that natural girl. So now that I've learned how to use it and how to use either my finger or a brush to blend it, I'm totally in love with it. So there's a lot of things out there that you just have to know the little technique to make them to work really well. The other one, if you are have a lot of hyperpigmentation, and I'm using this more on the daily now when I want a more polished look and I really want to cover up those dark spots, Color Science has a camouflage, and it's called Even Up. They have Even Up and they have All Calm. So if you're red, they have this for color correcting the red. This one, Even Up, is for color correcting dark spots. And this is another one of those products that if you don't know how to use it right, you're going to try it and go, no way. So you never want a full pump. You take a little bit and you warm it up in your hands, and it gets really warm and silky. And then this is where you're just going to be patting, and then stippling, and you're not rubbing this down in. I'm stippling it onto that whole area of my face or on my neck, chest, and these are not to color match you, so they're not like a foundation that will color match. These are tinted to cover up brown spots or redness, depending on which one you get. And then you take, once you've stippled that in, let it set for a moment, then you take your regular color, whether it's the powder or the Flex in your correct shade, and that's what you're going to use over the top of it to get you that perfect blend to your skin tone. But I will not be taking this with me when I am traveling because it's too many steps, and I don't need that real polished, super finished makeup look. So this is staying home and not traveling with me. Traveling with me is just going to be my Flex, my no-show, and my powder. And now Celine's got me thinking about Classic. So I'm actually going to test out Classic before I go with powder, and maybe that's all that I'll use is Classic and powder, and maybe I can get away with making my husband use Classic too, and then we only need one sunscreen. That could be cool. But I do like the fact that no-show does not get onto your clothes. We're going to be wearing our little wool underlayers and stuff, and not getting that white all over those would be really nice. So no-show gets a lot of votes. Okay, let's see what other questions we have here. Jennifer says, I'm always afraid of layering multiple products. Will they get heavy on the skin and clog the pores? That's what I thought too. I was really nervous about it, especially when I told you the first time I used this Even Up and I put on a full pump, I was like, ugh. But if you just use a little bit, it does not feel heavy, at all. I don't get any clogged pores or breakouts. I'm not having any blemishes. You've got to be sure to remove it correctly. So whenever you've got on all these nice layers, I've got on 30s, 50s, 20s, all over my face, and layers of them. So no sun is getting through to damage the skin. I've got to do the proper cleansing method to get it off. So a proper cleansing method is going to mean that I'm using my cleansers and I'm putting them on dry skin, dry hands, dry skin, massaging them in, then get the hands wet and massage again. Then rinse, and usually you can use a white towel and do your white towel trick, but usually you will see nothing comes off after that. But it's super important as we're layering all this on to remove it every night and get it all the way off of the skin. It's not going to cause breakouts, but we still have to clean our skin really well every night. Kelly says, what color did you use in the Color Science Color Balm, and which ones are your favorites? So I love berry and I love pink sky. So today I have pink sky on, and I whenever I use them on both the cheeks and the lips. Berry is going to be, I don't have one next to me. Berry is just more like it sounds, more that berryish kind of color, where pink sky is a more soft, a little brighter pink, which I love. I could put some more on because I'm happy to have very bright pink cheeks. I'm like Mrs. Claus. I want pink cheeks. So those are the two colors that are my favorites. Okay, Linda, what shade tint do you wear for the Is Clinical powder? And I haven't used that powder, so I can't tell you which shade tint would be my shade. Celine can probably come back here and give us some ideas about tints on the Is Clinical powder. Here she comes. I hear her little footsteps. I love this. We just drag her into our lives all the time.
Ivory. I think you would be cream.
Okay, Celine uses ivory, and she says I would be cream. So there you go.
Beige. You could probably wear either
cream or beige.
It's such a light, flexible tint.
It's flexible in its coloring. So for me, it would be cream or beige. Maria, how can I erase my 11 from my forehead? Well, there's always Botox. I did do that when I was 50. I felt so insecure. I decided to let my gray hair grow in, and I had braces on, and I went to my dermatologist, and she said, you know, I just get this here so I don't look mad all the time. And I thought, I don't want to look mad. So I got Botox, I think twice in that year. And then I decided, no, this just isn't for me. I'm going to embrace my 11s and be okay with it. The only way we'll completely get rid of those is with Botox. But if you don't want to do that, there's other things that help as well. So I do the Skin Wand, which is like a micro needling device with the silicone needles that we have on our website. I use that with the 24 karat gold serum from Hevatox. Hevatox 24 karat gold serum really works great on those kind of constant expression lines. Anything for releasing fascia, so doing your Anma massage, even massaging with your hands, all of that is also going to help to release all these muscles around the face. And so I do a lot of massage on this area because I carry a lot of tension around my eyes. I got that from my dad. My dad always looked like he was so intense. He had these intense blue eyes. I miss him. And this tension around his eyes. And I got that same thing whenever I'm reading, whatever I'm doing, I'm always tensing all the muscles around my eyes. Probably got that from being around him, and you know, we mimic what our parents do, but he also had really bad eyesight. He had Coke bottles, so he was probably squinting because he needed to in order to see. And then I just picked up that habit being his daughter. So those are some of the things that you can do to help relieve that. Gua sha massage through that area. But like you know, the other thing is you can go on Amazon. They have a product called Frownies. You can wear them to bed at night and wear them around the house on the weekends. It looks like packing tape, brown packing tape that you stick right on this area. And when I first started using Frownies back in my 40s to kind of make myself aware of when I was frowning, I would even get a headache because you can't frown with those on there, and it started making me aware of how conditioned those muscles were. So sleeping with a frowny stuck on right here, get it wet before you take it off because it dries. You get it wet, you put it on your skin like packing tape. If you just pull it off dry, it's gonna pull skin off with it. So get it wet in the shower or whatever and then take it off. But those frownies can really make a difference in that it's gonna retrain your muscles as well as help to pull that out. And then, yeah, the Skin Wand and the 24 karat gold serum. Good stuff for the forehead. Will I be bringing any devices with me? Not one. I will not bring one device with me. Nope. I'm just going to go and have fun. I'm not going to worry about too much about all that stuff. Just go and enjoy myself and embrace my age and embrace whatever dark spots I get while I'm there, because it's just going to be mementos of my wonderful trip. All those things we tell ourselves to have peace with the aging process. I'm just going to go and enjoy myself. Okay, 60s. How well is the Color Science cleanser for removing, especially the tinted sunscreen, compared to the other removers? I did the 7-day challenge with that cleanser and their moisturizer, and I have to say it worked beautifully. You use it as a dry cleanse, massage all over, and then, like I said, get your hands wet, massage again, rinse it off. You don't even need 2 cleanses. And I didn't have any irritation, nothing, just beautiful. And so the 7-day challenge was using that cleanser and their moisturizer. There's something magic, kind of synergistic, that happens between those two. And when you do that 7-day challenge, it just really rehydrates the skin. It's a wonderful thing to do if you haven't tried it yet. So absolutely love that cleanser. And if I had a travel size of that, I would probably take that with me. I haven't tried it on my hair yet. So to know if it could stand in as a hair cleanser the way my Soothing Cleanse does. But it might. I'll have to give it a try and let you know. Okay, Megan says, does the Neogen moisturizing mist cause sunscreen to degrade at all? I use it as a finishing spray. No, it's not going to cause it to degrade. You still need to be, doing your reapplying every 2 hours, but there's no acids in it or anything that's going to cause, to break through. All of these sunscreens have some water resistancy to them, and even the powder works better when it's had some water put on it. It makes it waterproof virtually. Going in a chlorinated pool or rubbing at your skin is going to rub it off, but splashing and that kind of stuff, once you've gotten the powder wet on your skin, damp, it is on and it stays on. So you don't have to worry about using that mist as your finishing spray. It's fantastic. I love that mist, love the stem cell cytokines in there. My husband uses that mist as his moisturizer. So he puts it on before the sunscreen and everything else, but he just loads it in his hands, puts it on his face, and it looks great. He thought he was out of it for a while because I had stolen it. It was on my side of the sink and he wasn't putting it on. And after a couple days, probably a week or so, he was sitting one evening and he was sitting like this, and he would take his hand down, and I'll see all those lines. All those lines stayed even after he took his hand down. I thought, oh man, he's dehydrated. So I asked him the next day, did you put on your moisturizer? And it turned out that he thought we were out, so he wasn't using it. And I was just amazed at what a difference just moisturizing mist can make to the moisture content of the skin. And so now when he does this and puts his hand down, all those dehydration lines fall back out. The skin is moisturized again, hydrated. Okay. Melissa says, when I travel, I always pack 4 Clean Skin Club wipes in a Ziploc so I can do a quick refresh on the plane. That is a fantastic idea, Melissa. Thank you for sharing that. I'm going to do that. The Clean Skin Club wipes are also what I take if I'm going camping. So I'm staying in a cabin, so I know I'm going to be able to do my full cleansing ritual and rinse and remove. But when I'm camping, these are what travel with me. If I'm hiking and camping, this is what's going to wipe off everything when I don't have all that water to do the correct cleansing that I want. But doing that midway, kind of a wipe when you're traveling and then reapplying your moisture, that could be a wonderful trick. Megan says, my lips get really dry and sometimes peel. What is an acne safe option? So for one thing, you're going to want to keep sun protection on your lips. So all my products go on my lips. You saw me use this, the SPF 50. So that's really protecting. The lip shines are an SPF 35. So that's layering on, and keep putting on, going to be layering on that sun protection, because they do get dry, but sometimes they get burnt. And once the lips get burnt and start peeling and flaking, they feel really dry. I'm having a hot flash in case you guys can't tell. So that's why I'm getting very, very shiny right now and very pink. And so doing that, really keeping that kind of protection on your lips is going to make a big difference. Glymed and Sorella both make a really nice moisturizing lip balm that you can put on top of these, but they are not going to give you that SPF value that you're wanting to have. So layering with a real hydrating balm, but also making sure you're getting a lot of sunscreen and reapplying sunscreen to the mouth area as well. None of these sunscreens taste bad. So going right over the lips is not a problem with these, and even the powders. You could go right over with the powder and then put on a little bit of lip gloss on top of that, and that should really help. Does the Hevatox for eyes have arginine? I don't know. You'll have to reach out to our customer service about that. So Joseph says, Glymed plus hemp peptide eye cream. What texture is this? I love this cream, Joseph, because most eye creams are not enough moisture for me. I need a lot of moisture, but I need it not to crease and get greasy. So my eyelids get very oily. I find that this works great. Like I showed you guys, I could put it all the way around, even on my eyelid. I don't get down near the lashes, but I got it up on the brow bone up here. And I don't have trouble with my eye area getting too greasy, yet it stays really moist throughout the day. And none of our other eye creams do this as well as this one does. So it doesn't feel heavy, but it gives you a really nice moist finish. I really like it. Joseph, if you get it and you find that it doesn't work for you, you can send it back, of course. But I think in San Francisco, this is going to be really nice for you, because the eye area is where we get those first signs of aging, right? Okay. Yeah, I do need a fan, you guys. I just need some people to stand here and wave fans at me. Thank you, Joseph. I do need a fan. Oh, so one more question. What name is the Color Science cleanser I typed out with seen as a result? Oh, so I think it's called Step 1. Try doing that. I think it's called Step 1 cleanser. Oh, Celine just highlighted it for you. So it's up on the show up there so you can find it. I haven't started telling anybody this yet, but I'm going to start letting it squeak out because it's happening in a few weeks. We are launching, it's Pro Step 1. We are launching a new website next month, and we just had too many problems with the platform we were on. Those of you like Joseph who've been with us for quite a while know what a horrible transition we had onto the platform we're on now. We are going on to a new platform mid-month, and guess what? It's going to be Shopify. So checkout is a dream with Shopify. That's the thing that has me the most excited, but also our search features are going to work better, because I know the search in our search bar right now does weird things like give you a scene cleanser. You'll type in something and it doesn't give you what you're looking for. So the new website's going to be much better for you on that. Okay. I did it. We got through all the questions, kept it pretty concise. I've been trying to work on being more concise, but I love having these conversations with you guys. It's a lot of fun. I love the back and forth. We have a question from Melissa that I missed. Okay. She asked about devices.
Nope. So farther down.
She said she brings the clean skin wipes.
Nope.
Celine's gonna find it.
Melissa right here.
Oh, I did miss that one. Thank you, Celine. I am struggling to decide which product to get. Even Up or All Calm. I have redness on my cheeks and get flushed also from hot flashes, but also have dark spots. So, great question, Melissa. I had the same question, and when I was in the class and doing the training, I wanted to use both because I have redness and then I have hyperpigmentation. And so what I learned is that you never combine the two, which is good. You don't have to buy two things. But the beautiful thing about Even Up, the Even Up serum and the Even Up color corrector, is that they both are loaded with anti-inflammatories, because we know hyperpigmentation, in a similar way to rosacea, they are both inflammatory disorders. So there's a lot of anti-inflammatories in the Even Up. So that would probably be where I would start. The one area where I might be more torn and say to get the All Calm is if you are just blood red, bright red cheeks, you know, that just super rosacea. If you've got that super bright red cheeks going on right here that's just red all the time, I would probably choose the All Calm because you're going to want more of that color correction for that much redness. So if you've got that really severe redness, go All Calm. If you've got a little bit of redness, pinkness, but then you have that hyperpigmentation more that you're concerned with color correcting, then go with the Even Up. I hope that helps. It's hard. If I saw a picture of you, I could tell you more quickly, like one or the other, because I could guess that you're more like me, then I would say Even Up. But if I see you and you're just bright red cheeks, I'm going to go, okay, All Calm for you, my dear. So there you go. Yes, and if the red is more like me, from hot flashes, you're just suddenly getting pink. You've got a little pinkness in the cheeks. When I'm not having a hot flash and I'm just sitting and working and not even really moving around, I am just pale probably. I'm just no blush, and that's why I'm always putting blush on. It's very more washed out. But when I get a hot flash going, poof, I get really red. So I would not, if that's you and you're more getting that hot flash red, then go with the Even Up. You don't need to have the All Calm. What the other product that can help you with that uneven heat in the skin is DNA reversal. That helps to calm heat in the skin. There's another one too. It's that resveratrol. Rhonda Allison has a resveratrol one that's pink and sparkly. She just changes the names of everything all the time, so I can never remember the name. But if you want the name of that one, reach out to customer service and they'll tell you the name of that one. And that one's a really nice one. It's loaded with resveratrol. It's very cooling and it has a little bit of glimmer, sparkle to it. And it's really nice to even pat on. When I'm having a hot flash, if I put some of that in my hands and just pat it on, it really revives my skin and gives it a nice glow and moisture, as well as helping to take that heat down out of the skin. Okay. Alrighty. Oh yeah, just pinkness from heat. So yeah, go with your Even Up. Oh, Celine put the name Luminous Wine Gel. Luminous Wine Gel is amazing. Sometimes when I travel in more hot areas, Luminous Wine Gel comes in a smaller container, and so that will be something that I take with me because it's going to really cool the skin and give you just a super boost of antioxidant protection. Thank you, Joseph. Okay. Does color science trigger DNA? So there are some ingredients in color science that trigger, definitely that trigger the positive, the positive DNA actions. I assume that that's what you're talking about when you're saying triggers DNA. We have Is Clinical that has a lot of those ingredients that are stimulating activity and getting our DNA to behave better, either being anti-inflammatory or releasing lines or building collagen. removing redness. We have those in color science as well as in is clinical. So yes, my answer is yes. I'm going to need glasses. We have a bunch popping in right here and I don't want to miss one. You're welcome, Melissa. Yes, and get your free gifts, you guys. Get your free spritzes. Where's my spritz? Here it is. No, yeah. It's a nice size one. I love it. Okay, everybody, have a wonderful day. I'll probably be back for one more show before I take off for Iceland. But you guys have a great week. Enjoy this beautiful weather. Get out, take some walks, but keep yourself protected. All right. Bye-bye, everyone.